Hi, my fellow WW warriors, health and fitness people too. It's Christmas Eve, and I'm making dinner. And I hope you can see me, but my light's behind me, and I really can't do nothing about it. So sorry. I'm making dinner, and what I'm gonna make today is air fried chicken with pasta puttanesca. And I know what you might think, but no, I'm not Italian. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is grab my little rack for my chicken. And the only thing I did to this was I used a little pastry brush, dipped it in some oil, and I brushed my grates with it. So I'm going to put my chicken on my rack, and I'm going to set my air fryer for 400 degrees for 12 minutes, and it's going to come out perfect. So let me do that, and I'll be right back and tell you what I do next. Okay, I have my water on high to boil, so by the time I get my pasta in, by the time my chicken's done, the sauce is going to be done probably, hopefully, at the same time. So let's get started. I have, hope you can see my pan. I have a little bit, a teaspoon or so of country crock, and I'm gonna put in, this recipe is so easy, by the way. It's so easy and simple. Put in a couple of anchovy fillets. I only do about 3 or 4. They are packed in olive oil, so if you don't want to use the olive oil, you don't have to. And I love this stuff. It is garlic paste made by Gourmet Garden. We're just going to squeeze some of that in there. FYI, don't worry about the anchovies if you're worried about it, because they do melt in the pan, and you won't be able to taste it at all. So once you put the sauce in after they melt, nobody's even going to know that it's in there. So don't tell anybody if you think they're going to have a fit about having anchovies in there. So don't worry. Trust me, it'll be good. So this is gonna melt all together. I have my heat on medium low because I don't want this to scorch and burn. So what I do, I just break up the anchovies a little bit as they're cooking. And as you can tell that they're basically dissolving in my little garlic mixture here. My husband and I like a little heat, so what I do is I use crushed red pepper and I put it in with my garlic and anchovy mixture. I like for it to get melted in there a little bit. And when that is nice, and you can see it's all nice and melted together, we're going to take a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. I use Cento because they're San Marzano tomatoes. You can use whatever you want, but this whole can is 0 points, so you ain't got to worry about it. If you guys like whole tomatoes, you can use whole tomatoes and crush them up a little bit, or you can use tomato sauce, but I like my sauce a little bit chunky, so that's why I use crushed. So you can use any one you want, but the ones I use 0 points for the whole can, so perfect. So I'm just going to mix this all in together. You will be able to smell the anchovies a little bit once they start dissolving, but other than that, nobody will ever know that you put them in here. Now I'm just going to start seasoning my sauce. What I use to season my chicken, I just use some salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder. I used some thyme, and I also used some of this, which is Flavor Gods Fiesta Sweet and Tangy seasoning. If I would have had the Flavor God Italian Zest, I would have used that, but I didn't have any, so use what you got, I guess. So I'm going to use basically the same seasoning, but I'll tell you what I'm putting in it. Kosher salt, black pepper, and don't fret, I did wash my chickeny hands. Let's see, garlic powder. I don't normally use garlic powder in here, but I will use a little bit because I don't think it needs it since I already have that garlic in there, and a tiny bit of onion powder. And then I use basil, dried basil. I like dried parsley. Thyme. And a little bit of ground sage. Feel free to add whatever you want. That's what I put in. You can add basil, dried basil, that's fine. I might add that in a little while, taste it, and then add a little more. So we're going to stir this up, and we're going to wait for everything to come together a little bit, and I'll show you what else I put in there. Aggressively salt our water. I'm just going to put in a handful of noodles. I'm just cooking for 2 people, but I always put in enough to make 3 servings, just in case somebody wants some as a snack. And my sauce is coming along pretty good, so by the time this is cooked, my sauce should be done. We'll be ready. So my sauce is getting heated up nicely. I'm going to show you the last 2 ingredients that I put in the sauce, and the sauce will be ready. As long as it's all heated through, we'll be okay. I put in one, I think this is 3.8 ounce can of sliced olives, black olives. I never was an olive fan, but when I had this, when my brother made it for us one day for dinner, I was like, this is pretty good. So I got the recipe online and made it myself. Okay, now my last ingredient are capers. You want them to say non-pereil, P-A-R-E-I-L. They're the real small ones, and they're supposed to be the best ones. So I just take my spoon and put in a couple of tablespoons that without the water. I just put in the amount that I like. We're gonna stir all this up. Looking so good. I'm gonna stir my noodles. So my noodles are done, chicken is done, sauce is done. I'm gonna drain my noodles and I'm gonna show you how I'll put it together. Okay, my noodles are drained and this is what I do. Hope you can see my pot. I put my noodles back into the pot and I put this in here and mix it up carefully. So I don't splash it all over the kitchen and me. Perfect. Mix this up a little bit. Now let me go get my chicken. So I have my chicken on one side. I'm going to put some pasta on the other. Take a spoon and I spoon some of the sauce over the top of the chicken. And if you want extra sauce on your spaghetti, that's fine too. I'll be back in a second. I'll tell you the points. So that's it. That's how I put my Pasta Puttanesca together. To tell you everybody that I'm on blue, and I'm just going to tell you the points for the sauce because I know everybody counts pasta differently. When I make this sauce and I put it on the ingredients in, I put it for 3 servings because I usually have it for me, my husband, and I have an extra serving left over in case I want some later. And it comes out as only 1 point per serving for the sauce. So the only thing you really need to do is if you're on green, count your chicken and count your pasta. Blue, you just need to count your pasta. And then if you're on purple, you don't need to count the pasta if you use the kind that is 0. So hope you guys enjoy. I'm gonna do hopefully another video, hopefully next week if I can get to it, and I'm gonna have a special guest with me, so stay tuned for that one. Please don't forget to subscribe, like this video if you made this, especially if you made this recipe and you liked it and it came out great for you. Awesome. Don't forget to share this video with all your other friends and family and WW family and friends and see how they like it too. Love you guys. Happy holidays. Hope you're staying safe. Mwah.